Hey everyone, this is just going to be a quick update of the Ukraine-Russia war situation with a rundown of the latest events and happenings. Now, I plan on covering this for the duration of the war, so if you would like to follow along, feel free to subscribe. Okay, so there is currently a 40-mile long convoy of Russian tanks and other vehicles threatening the capital of Ukraine as we begin day 6 of this brutal war, which I have to say it's pretty amazing how well Ukrainians have been fighting back at this point in time. I don't think Russia nor the rest of the world expected Ukraine to put up this much resistance against Russian forces. If you compare the military spending of the two countries, for example, Russia's military spending is about 10 times that of Ukraine's, so it should really be a total mismatch. Yesterday, Russia and Ukraine did have a 5-hour long session where they tried to reach some type of resolution to end the war, but unfortunately, no agreement was met. Both sides did agree to pick back up on the discussions in the coming days, though, but it's doubtful they'll ever reach a resolution, or at least one that favors Ukraine all that much. Also, Ukraine is now claiming that on top of the brutal violence taking place, Russia took it another step by using an illegal vacuum bomb during their invasion, which could potentially be a war crime. This was a claim made by Ukraine's ambassador to the United States, and it would be a violation of international law if so. Now, a vacuum bomb, for those of you unfamiliar, is a weapon that's typically a lot more devastating than traditional bombs. With vacuum bombs, they absorb oxygen in a given space, which causes a significant blast, also capable of vaporizing humans. So obviously, if this is the case, and the White House receives confirmation that a vacuum bomb was used, they'll obviously take more action against Russia. Up to this point, Europe has led the way in sanctions against Russia, with President Biden and the United States leading from behind. Yesterday, the Biden administration announced sanctions against Russia's central bank, which will prohibit Americans from doing any business with the bank, as well as freezing its assets within the United States. Meanwhile, all this week, Russia will continue to scramble to prevent further financial meltdown as the ruble crashed to a record low recently against the US dollar. In response, the Russian central bank more than doubled its interest rates to 20%. Additionally, the Moscow Stock Exchange was shuttered on Monday, and it will stay closed all day today. So if you can remember what happened to the stock market back in March of 2020 with all the uncertainty of COVID, that's sort of the same thing going on there, except with ours, we didn't close it for an entire day. Over the past decade, Putin's government spent time preparing for these tough sanctions by building up $630 billion in international reserves, including currencies and gold, but now at least some of that financial firepower is frozen. According to the European Commissioner President, they will ban transactions of Russian central bank and freeze all of its assets in order to prevent it from financing this war. So they're basically going to be backing Putin into a corner by ensuring that the Russian economy keeps going backwards as long as this war continues. But you have to wonder, how much does Putin really care about the economy when his main goal, perhaps, is to reinstate the Soviet Union? You gotta wonder. In other news, the Kremlin has sent 400 Russian mercenaries into Ukraine with the mission of assassinating the Ukraine President Volodymyr Zelenskyy. The Wagner Group, in particular, a Russian private military company currently being accused of working with the Russian government, flew in mercenaries from Africa to Kyiv about 5 weeks ago, according to the Times of London. Their assignment to decapitate Zelensky's government and prepare the ground for Moscow to take control. Now, thankfully, they found no success, and I have to say, if Ukraine can come out successful in this war, Zelenskyy is going to be an absolute legend in the history of Ukraine. The very fact that the United States offered to evacuate him from Ukraine and his reply was, "I don't need a ride, I need ammunition," absolutely makes him a legend, and I think the people of Ukraine are really feeding off his energy. Now, one thing that could work in Ukraine's favor over the next few days is that a lot of snow is expected to come down throughout the week, which could impact air operations of Russian attackers, as well, of course, as Ukrainian defenders, but ultimately give a slight advantage to Ukraine. According to a retired general of the US, David P. San Clemente, poor weather conditions typically favor the defender in respect to air operations, although this is not always true. He's also said if weather is terrible, that really does work for the most part to the defender's advantage. So it should be an interesting week ahead, and we all have to really hope that Russia will eventually come to their senses and just end this brutal war. In the end, no one wins, lots of innocent lives are lost, and the ones who caused it, like Putin, will always have the protection. Finally, I leave you with the message of a now dead Russian soldier in one of his final words to his mother. Listen.
I would like to read from the screenshot of the smartphone of a killed Russian soldier. That's an actual screenshot from someone who is dead already. Лёш, ты как? Почему так долго не отвечаешь? Вы точно на учениях? Спрашивает мать убитого солдата. За моменты перед тем, как он был убит. Мама, я уже не в Крыму. Не на учениях. А где? Папа спрашивает, можно ли тебе послать посылку. Да какую посылку, мам? Что ты говоришь такое? Что случилось? Мама, я на Украине. Тут настоящая война. Мне страшно. Мы бьем по всем городам. Подряд. Даже по мирным жителям. Нам сказали, что они нас будут приветствовать. А они кидаются под нашу технику. И не дают проехать. Называют нас фашистами. Мама, мне очень тяжело. In several moments he was killed.
So if Putin wanted to really show that Ukraine really wanted to be a part of Russia and they didn't really care all that much about their country, the very fact here that Ukrainians have been fighting back so hard is just killing this lie by Putin. But on that note, I'm going to go ahead and wrap up this video. If you found this video helpful, I would appreciate you giving it a like. And for further video updates, make sure to subscribe. And until next time, I'll see you in the next video.